The Effect of Illegal Immigration on the Citizens of America by Max Warner.
Grace Galardi.
And Abby Massey. By illegally crossing America's borders, immigrants are bringing about crime and failing to substantially contribute to the economy, all while causing major disagreements and disputes between the citizens of America.
According to Matthew O'Brien, Director of Research, and Spencer Raley, Research Associate, illegal immigrants pay about $18.9 billion a year in taxes compared to the total national cost on them, which is about $134 billion. The $134 billion comes from taxpayers who are your guys' parents and eventually will be you guys. This means that the portion of the taxes are going to programs that can benefit illegal immigrants. Hardworking taxpayers' money are going to these illegal immigrants who are here unlawfully in the first place. According to Robert Rector, Senior Research Fellow in Domestic Policy at the Heritage Foundation, says that the average illegal immigrant household receives around $24,000 in government benefits compared to only paying about $10,000 in taxes. This is just another example of the mass amounts of money that are given to illegal immigrants each year. It's ultimately not fair to taxpayers who work hard for their money, and it's difficult enough for certain families to support themselves, let alone their tax dollars going to illegal immigrants. It also can put a strain on the economy. In order to live in a country, everyone needs to contribute so the economy stays stable. And if illegal immigrants continue to enter our country unlawfully, take advantage of the amazing programs we have, and not pay enough in taxes, our economy will suffer. Since illegal immigrants don't have a social security number, they're not eligible for Medicaid, Children's Health Insurance Program, or the Affordable Care Act. According to the Senior Citizens League, they promote and remind senior citizens of their rights, say that as a result, illegal immigrants can get illegal, forged, or invalid social security numbers. This means that even more money is tacked on to the starting value of $134 billion. It also puts a harsher strain on the economy, and it's unlawful, and Max is going to go into more detail about crime and other unlawful things illegal immigrants do.
Through the political lens, we look and we see like crimes and all the bad things that illegal immigrants are doing involved in crimes. And one quote says, "In recent years, nearly 1,000 illegal immigrants have been convicted of committing sex crimes against children in the state of Texas alone." Michael Snyder. This shows us that just in Texas, there are tons and tons of illegal crimes going on, and only in the sex crime category. So just in Texas, there's 1,000 kids suffering from sex crimes. Imagine the entire nation with sex crimes. It's tremendous the amount of numbers that are having to deal with these crimes, the people that are suffering because of illegal immigrants coming into America. Another thing is sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities, if you don't know, are cities that allow illegal immigrants to stay there, and there are no restrictions, like they can't be taken back, none of that. And sanctuary cities are being funded by the states, they're being allowed by the nation, whereas these illegal immigrants are committing crimes and harming the people, and they're still being allowed to take place, which should not be allowed. This graph shows incarcerations of natives, which is 1.53% of the Native Americans, or U.S. citizens, are being placed in prison, and 0.85% of legal immigrants. And most people take a look at this and say, well, the natives are higher than illegal immigrants, so illegal immigrants are doing something right. But the fact is, illegal immigrants shouldn't be in our country in the first place. And almost 1% are committing crimes and going to prison when they shouldn't be committing crimes at all in America. So if you really look at it, it's a tremendous amount of people that are going to jail when they shouldn't be going to jail in the first place, when they should be removed from our country, and we don't have to worry about that. Politically, there are a lot of governmental leaders who follow this, such as Donald Trump. Donald Trump, after a tragic incident in San Francisco, a woman was on the harbor and she was shot by an illegal immigrant. Donald Trump tweeted, "The case-style killer came back and back over the weakly protected Obama border, always committing crimes and being violent, and yet this info is not used in the court. His exoneration is a complete travesty of justice. Build the wall," Donald Trump tweeted. This is very important for all Americans to see because this man came back over the Mexican border several times. And then after finally coming back over, he killed someone. And because we're allowing these people to come back in and we're not as protective as we should be, we're losing lives and people are fearing for their lives. Such as in Texas, that last quote I gave you, the 1,000 sex crimes. People are fearing for their lives, and you shouldn't have to fear if you're going to be safe in this country. You should just feel safe.
So, what does the president think, and how are Americans responding? Well, President Donald Trump is well aware of all of the information that Max and Grace have just presented to us. And this has pushed him to want to restrict illegal immigration. This has pushed him to want more secure borders. And as a result of this, all of the liberal and the Democratic side of this argument are arguing that this whole idea, this whole want of less illegal immigration is essentially racist. And because of this, it's causing a lot of retaliation and arguments from both sides. So, for example, the 9/11 attacks, those were carried out by immigrants. And ever since, it naturally caused a lot of caution and a lot of wariness toward immigrants because Americans were awakened, essentially. Americans noticed that maybe allowing all of these strangers into our country, not knowing what their intents are and what they're capable of, is maybe not such a good idea. So, and again, that just refers back to the point that we think these things, Americans think these things, but these concerns are just ultimately met with, this is racist, this is not right. And it's not necessarily the idea of being racist and being mean or thinking that Americans are superior to Japanese people or Chinese people or Mexicans. It's the idea of we want to protect our country and we are concerned for our safety. And a lot of protests we see these signs. I can guarantee if you look up an American First rally, you will see somebody holding up a sign that says no Nazis, no KKK, no fascist USA. Which is, again, just accusing people who are concerned for the safety of their fellow Americans of being a Nazi and having practices of the KKK, which is simply untrue. But let me ask you this, by show of hands, how many of you here lock your front door? Okay, how many of you have a security system for your house? And why do we have those things? We have those things to keep out people who want to shoot us, who want to rape us, who want to rob us. So if we need to have that idea of America as our home and our borders as our doors. If we don't lock our doors or secure our borders, we're going to be at risk of having people who are going to kill us, who are going to commit terrorist attacks, who are going to rape us, who are going to rob from us. And it needs to be put to a stop.
One of our solutions are just stricter immigration laws. This could include stricter background checks on immigrants coming to the border seeking asylum or just not accepting refugees. And some may not agree with this because they have empathy for these immigrants who are in such a fragile state. But we decided to take a more realistic and overall safer approach in order to protect American citizens. Because if we were to allow everyone who wanted to come into America, we wouldn't know their background and we wouldn't know their intent for coming into our country.
Building a wall is a very good idea. Some people may say it's not right, it's going to cost too much money, it's keeping the bad people out who should be, we're welcoming everyone in, that's what our country is. But the fact is, we're keeping all the bad people out. We're making sure that they don't get in, they can't slip through the cracks. There will be protection, there will be more safety, more security. The wall will make sure, it'll just be a lot safer so people can't get from Mexico.
Another solution is restricting the incentives that we have for coming over to America illegally. And a good example of those is outlawing sanctuary cities. And a lot of people argue that sanctuary cities provide illegal immigrant families homes where they don't have to have that fear of being deported by ICE. However, sanctuary cities also provide a place for criminals to commit crime and not be deported. So, for example, Los Angeles is a sanctuary city, and 75% of their most wanted criminals are illegal immigrants.
Lastly, taxpayers' money going to lawful citizens instead of illegal immigrants getting that beneficial money, or the taxpayers are getting benefits of paying their taxes. got work today.
Okay, so we have a few questions for you. The first one is for you, Grace. So what did you feel like was the strongest counter-argument to the solution or conclusion that your team identified, and why?
I definitely think that, more democratic or liberal viewpoints think that, they have empathy for these immigrants who are coming over, but they just need to realize that not everyone has the same intents as some of these illegal immigrants who are in such a fragile state. So we do need to have stricter background checks on them so we know, if they're going to harm Americans.
Okay. Max, you're next. How did the group decide to use Grace's perspective or lens to the overall presentation?
Well, we used it economically, and Grace's lens really supported how it's degrading or downgrading America's economy through taxes and everything. And that really contributed when it came to politically, because that could also be show crimes and everything. It literally just the economy supports all of America, so it helped fit in right there with showing how it really downgrades America in general.
Thank you. And then Abby, in what way did you improve your ability to work with a group as a result of this project?
Well, I felt more confident in giving out my ideas. I felt more confident to say, maybe we should add this, or maybe we should change this font and change this color, because I felt that overall it would benefit the group, and rather than just being shy and keeping my mouth shut, I think this overall helped me to realize that my ideas are going to benefit the group just as their ideas will.